The 2021 EPCOT International Food and Wine Festival has begun. Things are a little different at this mega-long EPCOT festival, but we've got the tips and tricks and, of course, the list of the best of the fest to help you navigate food and wine like a pro. It's all coming up now on DFV Guide. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog. This year's festival runs July 15th, 2021 through November 20th, 2021, and has a whopping 32 food booths. One of the biggest changes this year is that some of those booths are opening later, in kind of a food and wine phase 2 kind of situation. We've still got 23 booths vying for best of the fest today though, plus loads of tips to share with you, so let's dive in. First of all, a little housekeeping. EPCOT still has not brought back Eat to the Beat concert series, culinary demos and seminars, special dining events, or Party for the Senses. But don't worry, there's plenty to do and see in EPCOT during Food and Wine. Live music, character cavalcades, scavenger hunts, fireworks, plus all of the food. Let's find out what's worth your time. Now, there's a lot of info in this video, but if you want the full definitive breakdown of everything you need to know about the EPCOT Food and Wine Festival, we got a guidebook for that. Our Food and Wine Festival guide has full menus and prices for every single booth with color photos so you know what you're getting before you buy. The guide also has tons of tips, unique food crawls, and info on all the extras you don't want to miss. You can pick up a copy of that guide or any of our other snack guides, bundles, other food and wine informational guides at dfbstore.com. Use code YouTube for a discount. Now, let's get into the best food from this year's festival. We're starting out with the crispy chicken on a sriracha glazed donut at Donut Box. I'm so excited this made our best of the fest because this is probably the item at Food and Wine that I was the most excited about. The Donut Box has returned for its third Food and Wine Festival with an amazing new addition to the menu. Now, the donut sandwich was a standout. We knew it was making our best of the fest list at first bite. It's crunchy, it's juicy, it's sweet, it's spicy. It's got everything going on, and it's served in a fun and unique way. It's crispy chicken on a sriracha glazed donut for $8.50. Now, made with M&Ms, Snickers, and Twix for $5, the candy jar donut at Donut Box also made our best of the fest list. Now, the toppings on this donut will melt fast, but if you are a chocolate lover, you need to add this to your list. This booth obviously serves donuts. You can also get 4 slightly more standard donuts. The candy jar donut and sriracha glazed donut, sans chicken, are always on the menu along with 2 chef's special daily donut flavors. You can get all 4 in a box for $16. Next on the list is the Schinken Nudeln at Germany. Baked, cheesy, carby dishes just make for the perfect snack while walking all over Disney World in 90-degree heat, right? Which is why, once again, the Schinken Nudeln makes our list. This is a tried and true favorite, though. We'll get it year after year after year at Food and Wine. It's a sizable portion of pasta gratin loaded with ham, onions, and cheese for just $4.50. It's so densely rich and cheesy, making it a very solid snack that's easy to split. Bonus, it's an item on a Meals Fromage Montage cheese crawl. Buy the 5 cheesy dishes that are a part of the cheese crawl, collect the stamps, and bring your passport to Shimmering Sips for an exclusive prize, a strawberry cheesecake dessert that you can only get if you complete the fromage montage. Next on our list, the braised beef poutine at Refreshment Port. When have you known a best of the fest come out of Disney Food Blog that didn't have poutine on it, right? So Refreshment Port is hosted by Boursin Cheese this year, and you can expect a lot of cheesy goodness here. The new poutine makes our best of the fest with braised beef, French fries, Boursin, garlic and fine herbs, cheese sauce, cheese curds, and gherkin relish. This one's at $9.50. The garlic and fine herbs cheese sauce was really unique and gives the dish a little more creaminess and a softer texture as opposed to just the regular consistency of those cheese curds. But if you want to keep things simple, you can always opt for the traditional poutine. The maple Boursin cheesecake made with whipped Boursin maple bourbon cheese and candied pecans for $4.50. This was the best of the fest winner last year, and it's migrated over to the Refreshment Port, so you've got a few reasons to make a stop here this year. Now we're headed to Hawaii next. Hawaii has been at the festival for quite some time at this point, and the next on our best of the fest list is the Kahlua pork slider. This one's there all the time. It's a festival essential, and we're happy to see it back again. Now our team has probably eaten more of these than any other dish at the festival because they just keep going back for more. It's $5.75. You'll get 1 mini sandwich with sweet and sour Dole pineapple chutney and spicy mayonnaise atop some seriously tasty pulled pork. It's a perfect sweet and spicy combo. But also at Hawaii, we've got another winner, the tuna poke, for $7. This dish is extremely flavorful without too much spice. Now the tuna is topped with eel sauce and spicy mayo with a side of shrimp chips to scoop up your poke. Tuna poke has been around at this booth before, but it's really the fixins that make it a best of the fest this year. It's a good portion, one of the lighter options at this year's festival. But if lighter options aren't for you, this next thing on the list is definitely for you, the Canadian cheddar cheese and bacon soup at Canada. Of course, this is going to be a staple on the Best of the Fest list. It's always delicious, even if you're having it on the hottest day of the year. There is a reason this dish keeps coming back year after year to the Canada booth. For $5.25, you get a cup of the famous soup that's served year-round at Le Cellier Steakhouse in the Canada Pavilion. All right, this next item is probably my favorite on the list, the corned beef at Flavors from Fire. Now, Flavors from Fire has chefs grilling up dishes right in the middle of the park. The corned beef corner root has smoked corned beef with crispy potatoes. Cheese curds, pickled onions, and beer cheese fondue has been around in years past and has often made it onto our Best of the Fest list. It's $5.50. This is a huge portion of cheese on cheese paired with tasty, salty corned beef, and this dish is also part of a meal's fromage montage. Now we're headed to Hops and Barley in the America Pavilion. If you love craft beer, make a stop here. The beer flight here includes 81 Bay Brewing Co. Strawberry and Lime from Tampa, Florida, Sweetwater Brewing Co. Hazy IPA from Atlanta, Georgia, and Lord Hobo Brewing Boom Sauce DIPA from Woburn, Massachusetts. Or is it Woburn? Woburn? Who lives there? Let me know. All the beers included in this flight were nice and clean. The double IPA was very bold but still drinkable, and the strawberry and lime was not too sweet. And we want to give an honorable mention to the cider flight at Brew Wing for those non-beer drinkers out there who want something light and refreshing to sip on. Brew Wing is a new festival booth as well over in the Odyssey Center that's going to have chicken wings, lots of beers, and pizza. Next on the list is the mimosas at Shimmering Sips, hosted by Corksicle. You really can't go wrong with a whole booth of mimosas. Now, these are $6.25 each. You can try the key lime mimosa with key lime sparkling wine and cranberry juice, or the blood orange mimosa with sparkling wine and blood orange juice, or just get the mimosa flight for $13. Try them all. The tropical mimosa here is made with passion fruit, orange, and guava juices. It's a literal pog juice mimosa. Speaking of mimosas, we've got another one on the Best of the Fest list, and surprisingly, it's not the slushie that's winning at the France booth this year. The Strawberry Rose Mimosa for $8.50 is a gorgeous twist on a classic mimosa if you haven't gotten enough at Shimmering Sips. Now, this one's sweet without being too sweet. Over at the Mexico booth, we're going to talk about the Chilaquiles con Chorizo. This year, the Mexico booth served up a nearly entirely new menu. They do that a lot to us. And the new Chilaquiles de Chorizo is a winning dish. Crispy torn tortillas tossed in salsa verde and Monterey Jack cheese, topped with crema mexicana, queso cotija, pickled onions, and ground chorizo. It's kind of like a taco casserole with a bit of a kick from the salsa verde. This is a solid snack at $7. Oh, another one of my favorites coming up here, griddled cheese at Greece. Those of you who've been following DFB for a long time know that this was one of my absolute favorites back when Greece was a staple at the Food and Wine Festival. So this griddled cheese is basically a creamy, nutty slab of cheese with pistachios and honey. It's $4.50. The whole dish is very well balanced. And I am so glad this one is back at the festival. I have missed you, griddled cheese. All right, freshly baked carrot cake at Hops and Barley is next on our list. Now, Hops and Barley's been serving one of our favorite festival desserts for a while now. We're never going to turn down that carrot cake. It's just $4.25. It's served warm. It's a great deal with some great flavor and that amazing cream cheese icing, frosting, whatever you want to call it. It's always fresh and moist. It's a little bit sticky though, so maybe grab some extra napkins if you're sharing with the kids. All right, now we're launching into a brand new booth, the Swanky Saucy Swine. And while some of the dishes are a little interesting, this booth started out strong. The roasted porchetta with pork fat, roasted rosemary potatoes, and lemon parsley salsa verde for $6.25 absolutely wowed us. The meat was incredibly tender, the potatoes were perfectly boiled, and the sauce had just the right amount of sweetness. Now, the more shocking Best of the Fest inclusion from the Swanky Saucy Swine is the crispy pig ear salad. I know, I saw that title and I said, this can't possibly be something that we're gonna love, right? It has fire-roasted tomatillo sauce, pickled red onions, queso fresco, roasted corn salsa, and avocado cream. There's a lot going on, but it all melds together to create one delicious dish that was hands down our favorite item at the booth. You'll also find ribs and barbecue pork rinds with a pimento cheese dip to round out the pork-centric Swanky Saucy Swine. This booth lives up to its outlandish name. All right, now we're headed over to Australia. The roasted lamb chop with sweet potato puree, bushberry pea salad, and pistachio pomegranate gremolata made our best of the fest list the last time Australia made an appearance at the Food and Wine Fest. The chop itself is super flavorful, very tender, and the bushberry pea salad is a surprisingly delicious accompaniment, providing a nice texture and flavor. At $8.25, this is one of the more expensive items at the festival, though it's definitely an elevated dish, and it's truly like a miniature version of a fine dining entree. Okay, heading to Tangerine Cafe, Flavors of the Medina. This is a new festival booth located inside the Tangerine Cafe restaurant, which has been closed for nearly a year now. They got a lot of dishes here. Many of them are more substantial and reminiscent of what you used to find at Tangerine Cafe when it was a quick service location. Our top pick that caught us off guard is the fried falafel pita with tahini sauce for $5.25. Now, this unassuming pita sandwich ended up on one of our taste testers' top 3 of the fest list. Perfectly fried pita paired with creamy tahini makes for a tasty and filling snack. And now I'm making the executive decision to add into the best of the fest this divisive next option because, well, you'll see. The beignet à trois fromages at the France booth is basically just a big hunk of bread stuffed with melty cheese and topped with cheese, and it's all just bread and cheese. Basically, the name means a donut with cheese in it. So why divisive? Because that sounds great, right? Well, a couple of our reporters didn't like the kind of gravy-esque consistency of the cheese inside or the sweetness of the bread. But another reporter basically told us she was now engaged to this snack and told us where they were registered. So this might be your favorite or you could be disappointed. It's time to gamble. All right, so there's a bunch of our best of the fest. Now we're going to move on to our superlatives. Best booth of the festival this year, Swanky Saucy Swine. It's the undisputed winner of Best All-Around Booth for our taste testers. Now, every single item we had was delicious. You got the snacky pork rinds, the stunningly tasty porchetta, the gorgeously smoky soy-glazed sticky ribs, and the fresh and flavorful pig ear salad. Drinks were a knockout as well, with a Zinfandel, a bourbon Bloody Mary, and a Pinot Noir black currant sour from Parish Brewing. Now, the only thing missing is something sweet, but overall this booth knocked it out of the park for us. Runners up for Best Booth, Mexico. In addition to the chilaquiles, the taco de ribeye, and a slew of new cocktails round out the menu at the always popular Mexico booth. The taco is simple and delicious. Dessert here, the Abuelita chocolate bread pudding, is a hands-down winner. The El Tigre Margarita has Ojo de Tigre Mezcal with pomegranate, prickly pear, pineapple, and ginger juices, and is served on the rocks with a hibiscus salt rim. This is a love it or hate it. If you're into smoky mezcal, give it a try. The La Clásica Reyes Margarita comes with Centinela Blanco tequila, Ancho Reyes chili liqueur, Abasolo corn whiskey, lime juice, and agave nectar. It's served on the rocks with a chili salt rim. It is more of a classic margarita with some heat from that whiskey. And you're also going to find a white passion fruit sangria here, smooth and pretty drinkable. Overall, this booth stands out with winning dishes across the board, but the originality of the Swanky Saucy Swine definitely won out. Next on our runner-up for Best of the Fest booth, the Donut Box. Now, the Donut Box is also making our top overall booths list with unique flavors and presentations. This booth is going to please everyone. If you need your sugar fix, a carb-loaded fried chicken sandwich, smoothie, or coffee cocktail, you can get it all here. Overall, the donuts were a little too dense for this to win the top spot, but with lots of fun options for kids and adults and constantly rotating daily specials, we think we'll be making quite a few more stops at this booth over the course of the festival. And we also want to mention in this roundup the Rotunda Bistro for seafood. Rotunda Bistro is a new booth this year set up inside the American Adventure, and it provides a great space to cool off and get caviar. The chilled crab and avocado parfait with caviar and the chilled smoked shrimp salad are both light, refreshing dishes. Both were super tasty, and if you're a seafood lover, this is definitely worth a stop for you. The wild mushroom and truffle tart with Gruyere and creme fraiche was also a solidly tasty dish. Now, these dishes aren't as widely appealing as some of the other items at the festival, but all were executed very, very well. So if you're a seafood fan, don't miss this one. Okay, our best of the fest choice for kids, the teriyaki chicken bun, a returning item to the Japan booth. It's a steamed bun filled with chicken, vegetables, and teriyaki sauce. The teriyaki is a little bit sweet, but this is a fun, easy, handheld snack that kids will love. It's $6.50, which is a little expensive, but if your kids are starting to branch out into new flavor territories, this is a great one to try. The best option for plant-based eaters, we are voting for the Spicy Gatari at Refreshment Outpost. This has white beans, pigeon peas, Ben's Original Quinoa, and Ancient Grains Medley, and Kachumbari Slaw. It's a returning dish that used to be found at the Africa booth, but is now over there at Refreshment Outpost where Africa used to be. This is one of the most flavorful dishes at the fest, and the sauce has a bit of a spicy heat to it. Next on our Best of the Fest list is the most anticipated booth. When Noodle Exchange was announced, we were so excited. We love noodles here at DFP, and this brand new booth promised traditional Vietnamese pho, char siu pork udon, shrimp and coconut curry rice noodles, and tofu pho. All of them sounded absolutely delicious, but how'd they hold up to the taste test? Well, everything was tasty and portions were very substantial, but nothing really wowed us here. Well, everything was tasty and the portions were substantial. The thing that wowed us the most was the shrimp and coconut curry rice noodles here. The char siu pork udon with a pickled egg was flavorful as well. We would definitely visit this booth again because everything was delicious. Now, our most Instagrammable winner for Best of the Fest is the pistachio cake with cinnamon pastry cream and candied walnut at Tangerine Cafe. It takes the cake for prettiest dish at the festival, I'm sorry. It's not just pretty though, this cake would have made it on our Best of the Fest list even if it didn't look so great. The cake itself was very moist and buttery with bits of walnut in the pastry cream to give it some texture. The slice of cake is topped with a gorgeous mosaic tile pattern printed on white chocolate. Now you can try this one for $4.75. All right, let's dig into a few festival tips. If you are headed to the festival this year, Voices of Liberty and Mariachi Cobre will be performing on the America Garden stage, and the Jammin' Chefs are performing at the Canada Mill stage. Local Florida bands will also be performing on the America Garden stage from Friday through Monday every week. You can see the full schedule over at DisneyFoodblog.com. Remy's Ratatouille Hide and Squeak Scavenger Hunt is back this year. The hunt costs $7.99, but once you find the Remy's hidden throughout the World Showcase pavilions, you get to claim a prize. This year, the prize is a plastic bowl featuring Belle, Mickey and Minnie, Remy, or Figment. And like I said, more food booths are going to open in the fall too, with 9 booths scheduled to open on Disney World's 50th anniversary, October 1st. Those booths include the Alps, Belgium, Brazil, India, Ireland, Kenya, Lobster Landing, Mac and Eats, and Spain. Some of those are totally new, so stay tuned to the channel and DisneyFoodblog.com for all the info on the new eats coming later this year. Now, unlike other recent festivals, EPCOT is not using the World Showplace Pavilion for booths this year. This building is typically used for special events like Party for the Senses, but during the EPCOT festivals over the past year, it's been a great spot to grab some AC while eating some festival favorites. Now, remember to stay hydrated and take breaks. It's hot out there. Not all of this food is light, summery fare, so take a minute after you down that cheddar cheese soup in the 100-degree Florida summer. Remember, you can pop into the American Adventure for Rotunda Bistro to get out of the heat for a bit. Also, keep an eye out for character cavalcades while you're snacking around EPCOT, and look for those pop-up character meet and greets. These aren't exclusive to the festival, but it's an extra perk right now that while you're snacking on festival eats in France, you might get to wave to some princesses. As always, if you're looking for lower crowds, we suggest visiting on weekdays rather than weekends, since many locals will come over for the festival on the weekends, meaning pinch points in the parks can get packed out fast. Opening day was definitely busy with long lines for many booths. That's basically what you can expect on weekends, and mid-afternoon through the evening on some weekdays. So avoid weekends and holiday weekends for lower crowds and more manageable lines. Now, Disney has been better about putting out more tables throughout the parks for eating, but we always find it's easiest to bring a tray for your food. Then, if you need to walk a bit to find an open table, you aren't precariously juggling all of your food and drink. And don't forget to leave some time for shopping. There are a lot of festival-exclusive souvenirs, including t-shirts, spirit jerseys, magic bands, brand new mini ears with an interesting wood design. And since the entire festival is sponsored by Corksicle this year, you'll find 5 Corksicle tumblers for sale around the park. There are also pins, Dooney & Burke bags, and exclusive annual pass holder merchandise items. You can check out everything that's for sale during this year's festival over at DisneyFoodblog.com. Now, if you're looking for even more planning resources for this year's food and wine, grab a copy of our festival guide over at dfbstore.com. It'll help you keep track of all the booths, their dishes, and which booths open on October 1st, along with tasting notes, photos, and so many more tips. Don't forget to use code YouTube for a discount. Thanks for joining me for Best of the Fest. We appreciate you listening and watching. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.